I want to talk to you today about solo travel. Often I have people asking me, where can I go on holiday that's safe? Where do you recommend for a holiday on my own? So those who know the channel will know that Ian and myself travel extensively around Greece. And yes, we're together a lot of the time. However, we do also travel separately. Here I am in Kos. Ian is in Athens filming this week. This is my fourth trip to Kos, and it's the second one alone. So yeah, I do quite a lot of solo travel. So what I would like to do is break this down into three sections. Talk to you about planning, how you plan a solo trip. Then look at safety, which is a big chunky piece on obviously keeping safe while you're traveling. And then do a little bit on city breaks, which are quite different. There are other things to consider if you're thinking of doing a city break. So these could apply anywhere. However, I will say I'm not talking about backpacking or hostels. I have no experience of backpacking or hostels. This is about holiday, booking a holiday. At the end, as a bonus, I'm going to share three things that I always take on holiday with me. And you won't be able to guess what they are. I don't think. So let's have a look at planning first. Generally, the first thing you need to be looking at is when. It could be that you have time restrictions with work or caring, what other reasons there may be. Look at what time the time frame you're looking at first. Of course, then you have to have in your mind, well, where are you going to go? I cannot impress enough on researching. There is so much information on the internet. Do your research. TripAdvisor is great. People like to put the bad on there, but they also put a lot of the good as well. Honestly, you can't do enough research. I kind of think sometimes maybe I should have had a career of planning people's holidays because I really enjoy the planning process. The other thing you're going to have to consider at this point is where you're flying from, because if you are only able to use a local airport, you may be restricted in where you can go. So we're from Wales, and yeah, we're a little restricted at times on where we can fly from and where we can fly to. Plus, of course, if you're thinking of going to somewhere a bit more remote, maybe a small island that doesn't have an airport, how are you going to get there? So plan all these things. You may already have ideas in your head of where you'd like to go. The other key thing then, of course, is your budget. Try to stick to your budget. I'm not very good at that part, but yeah. So I think if it's your very first solo trip, a lot will depend on where you've been before and what type of holidays you've had in the past. So if you had family holidays or couples holidays at resorts, then it may well be that you're going to feel more comfortable going to a large hotel complex. There's a lot of benefits to that type of holiday. Usually you book it as a package, so you've got your flights included, you've got transfers included, the hotel is there, and also usually some form of food, be breakfast, half board, or even all inclusive. But there are a lot of benefits to a solo traveller going on a package style holiday. Firstly, you've got a rep on site, or usually have a rep on site, so you've got someone there to go to if you have issues. They're also there to book trips for you, and you'll then be going with the people from the hotel. You'll be picked up from the hotel. These things really do give you that peace of mind when you're booking a holiday. The other thing I think is quite key with package type holidays is there's often evening entertainment included. If you are in the self-catering in a town somewhere, it's quite difficult to know what's going on, whereas if you're in a hotel complex and they've got an animation team that are putting on shows at night, it's a lot easier for you to take part in that, and safer for you then in coming back to your room after. So there are benefits, absolutely there are benefits. So I would say once you've got your dates and you kind of know where you're thinking of going, do your research, and possibly if that's the type of holiday you would feel comfortable with, then I would suggest something like that. Be a little aware of the location, because sometimes they are a little bit remote, and if personally I wouldn't want to be in one place for a week. I need to get out and walk. I need to go and see places myself. Sometimes they're a bit remote and there isn't anywhere to go for a walk, or to get out to the hotel. But you've got to feel comfortable in what you're booking. So I certainly suggest that's an option, definitely. However, if you're more adventurous and you're happy to book it yourself, which is what I do, then there are other things to think about. So I kind of do things a little bit backwards, because I book my flights first and then find accommodation. But that's mainly because once I know where I'm going, I know I'm already formulating a plan in my head. So I'll get those flights booked and then I need to start sorting my accommodation. And it's rare for me to stay in one place. So I would not book a whole week in one place. I generally will do 3, 4, 5 nights one place, 3 or 4 nights somewhere else, and then somewhere else. And if I'm going to an island, it means that I see more of the island. But that's just me. I am a little bit more seasoned in this. So and so what I've done here, I came to Kos, I stayed in a hotel for a few nights, and I am now in a luxury apartment, which is just stunning. I'm going to turn the camera around at the end. I'm not going to do it now because I need to make sure the camera comes back on me, but I'm overlooking the sea. Literally, as I'm looking, when I look that way, I'm looking at the sea. There's a ship coming in. And so I tend to be a little bit more adventurous from that point. But similar things apply. So you've decided where you're going, you've booked your flights, you need to think about transfers. How will you get from the hotel to your hotel, apartment, whatever it is you're staying in? Personally, I always book a taxi. I like to know that when I get to that airport, there is someone there with a card with my name on who's going to take me to where I need to go without fuss. So I arrived in Kos last week and I had a taxi booked through Expedia. As soon as I put my phone on while we were still on the plane, the WhatsApp message came through to tell me that Christos was outside waiting for me and he'd seen the flight coming in, and that gives me a lot of peace of mind. I have to say, the queue for taxis outside Kos Airport, there must have been 40 or 50 people in that queue. So I wouldn't have wanted to get off and then have to stand in that queue. That's just me though. So I do like to have that booked. A little tip, which I suppose comes under safety in a way, is that I don't drink a lot anyway, but I will never have more than one drink, because the last thing I want to do is feel at all not in control. But that's because I'm on my own anyway, and when Ian is with me, we'll go for cocktails, and perhaps one is my limit when I'm on my own, because I wouldn't like to feel like I'm not in control of the situation. But we're going to talk about safety in a second. So the other thing I like to do is look at where I'm going, look at an itinerary, and I write up the whole schedule. So I have everything in order. I know what I've got to do. It's easy to lose your days when you're away. You go, what day is it today, type of thing. But I'll book a few trips beforehand. So I'm a big lover of Get Your Guide, because the reviews that people leave on there are really good, so you can kind of tell whether they're using local people to do the trips. So I went to Simi a few days ago. I caught the ferry and went over for the day, and I had quite a lot of time to kill. So I booked a coach trip to the monastery. It was under £7. It's just a coach trip, but the coach driver was marvellous. He stopped off for us to take pictures up above the main harbour. And but I knew then that I had that booked beforehand. But let's talk about safety, because we can't ignore it. Nowhere is 100% safe. But some places are less safe than others. Generally, I find holiday resorts are pretty safe. I can't speak for all the world, but I can certainly speak for Greece and the Greek islands, and I've never not felt safe. But there are things that you can do to help yourself. So firstly, when you've done your planning, write out your schedule, just a piece of A4 even. You've got flight times, flight numbers, all the details, who the transfer is with, telephone numbers, your hotel, telephone numbers, email addresses. If you have booked trips in between, get them on there as well. Have your schedule written out, have a copy for yourself, but give a copy to a trusted friend or family member. That way, should anything happen, they know where you were supposed to be when. It's really crucial, and it also does help then that you've got someone at home knowing what you're doing and where you are. And on that note, don't skip the travel insurance. It's not worth the risk. Make sure you've got adequate travel insurance, and make sure you've got copies on your phone just in case you may need it. Things like cash and cards. So most places take both. So just my own personal method this is. So I keep a small purse that's in the safe, and in that is any English money that I had over from coming. I've got my passport, e-hic card, a credit card and a debit card, and those are in the safe. I don't touch them, I don't need them, but they're there for backup. I carry with me, and spare money I should say, spare euros, but I carry with me euros and a travel card, and that's all I carry with me. And most places will take cash or card, and I can top up that card on my phone through an app. It's so easy. If I lost that card on the app, I can cancel it, and most travel cards are like that. So I can just cancel the card, and I've got my backup cards with me then just in case. So that's just me covering bases, making sure that should anything happen, I'm protected in whatever way. Another thing then when it comes to safety, and again this is just me maybe being a bit overcautious, I never tell anyone I'm travelling alone. So when I'm talking to the waitress or the waiter and I'm asking them where something is, where I could go and do something. I was talking to a waitress this morning about vineyards, because I was looking for maybe a wine tasting trip or something like that, and of course she started telling me, and it's very easy to slip into that conversation. I'm on my own, would I be able to do it? Anyone can be here listening to that conversation, so I don't do it. And if anyone ever asks you, are you alone, say no. Little white lies don't hurt. They don't hurt. You can easily say, no, my partner's gone off somewhere or whatever. Wave to somebody in the distance. I'm sure you can find your way around that. I think it's just thinking on your feet. If someone starts asking questions and your gut instinct is saying, this don't feel right, move yourself away from that altogether. It's not, I've never had it, but I read about these type of things happening, so just be very cautious. Just be cautious. You're only looking after yourself. Another little tip, and this I'm certainly not taking credit for this because I saw it online, is try to avoid posting on social media while you're away. There's two elements. Firstly, if you do live alone, you're just telling the world that you're not there, you're in another country. That's not good. And secondly, you don't really want to be advertising where you're staying and where you are. So perhaps keep them until after, or do them a little bit more anonymously when you do put pictures out. Just be cautious, be thinking ahead all the time. Now this brings me on to city breaks, because city breaks are very different. And this goes for any city. It could be Athens, it could be Paris, Rome. They are really busy places, lots of people, and they practically all have issues with pickpockets. It's so rife right throughout Europe. I've seen it. I've never been pickpocketed, however, when I did have all the zips on my bag undone once. The top zip was where all my things were, and it had one of these click things that sort of clips back over and you can't open it, but they'd opened all the others, and obviously I had a rummage. I didn't feel anything at all. There was nothing in any of those pockets. I didn't feel anything. I just found all the zips undone. Ian did a video some time ago about pickpockets, but we are planning an updated version of the video, because we've invested in some of these pickpocket proof bags. So we're going to do a new video. So if you subscribe and hit notifications, you'll be told when that video comes out. So you do have to be very aware of your surroundings. Be aware of people around you, and absolutely do not tell anyone you're on your own. Just be more aware of what's going on. When you're in a holiday resort and everyone's relaxed and chilled, you don't have to be as aware. But when you're in a city and it's bustling and there's a lot of people, a lot of nationalities, you're going to feel a little bit more anxious. I've travelled to Athens alone. I feel okay. I'm happy. However, I've always got my bag tight to me just in case. I saw a gentleman be pickpocketed. We were up on the Pnyx, which is a mountain in Athens. It was a festival, and I was sat watching a young lad, probably young teens, slip his hand in this guy's shorts, take his credit card out. I went to shout. A Greek lady next to me went berserk. The kid dropped the card and ran. The guy didn't even know he had done it. So it's just be really, really aware if you're doing a city break. Your security and your own safety is paramount. As for Athens, I have a lot of experience of Athens. I love it. We usually stay in Plaka, Monsteraki, Syntagma, maybe Thysio, but you'll find all the cheaper hotels are in an area called Ammonia. Sorry, I said that wrong. Ammonia. Even the police say too, especially female people, don't walk around after dark in Ammonia. So they are aware. Again, this all comes down to your research, doesn't it? It just comes down to having done all that research and feeling really safe. So I don't want to put anyone off, because honestly, it's the best thing in the world to travel on your own. It's a great confidence boost, and it just opens up other cultures, and you can embrace so much. I do love traveling alone. So let me know in the comments, if you've already done traveling on your own, any tips you have that other people would benefit from, and if you've not, where are you thinking of going? If you need any help or advice, just pop it in the comments and I'll have a look. So I promised you I'm going to show you 3 things that I take. I don't even know why I've decided to do this. I'm not sure what I should be, but I'm going to anyway. So 3 things I always take on holiday, okay? First thing, when I'm traveling alone, I cannot be without this. Now, how do you put your suntan lotion on your back? Well, one side for suntan lotion and one side for after sun, body cream, whatever. This is brilliant. I had a lovely fold-in one, which unfortunately broke when I was in Kefalonia, so I happened to pick this up in a pharmacy in Kefalonia, but I will go reorder another fold-in one, because they come with pads that you can wash and take off and wash. But honestly, I couldn't be without this. I'll put links below in case you were interested. I couldn't be without this. This puts my suntan lotion on, it puts the after sun on as well on the other side. So honestly, brilliant. There's my first thing. The second thing that I cannot travel without is my hammam, what do you call them, a towel, blanket, throw, I don't know what you call them. They're towels, they are though. Very thin, they dry really quickly. Very light and small. So when I'm packing, I haven't got big bulky towels, but honestly, I use these all the time. Yes, I use them on the beach. Sometimes self-catering don't give you beach type towels. And if I'm going on a trip, so I went to Simi this week, and I forgot to take this, which really annoyed me, because I could have done with it around my shoulders. It was so hot, and I've often used these for that reason, is just put it around shoulders. But these hammams, they're available everywhere in tourist shops and whatever, and you can buy them online anyway. Well worth it. And there is a new one out. Keeps dropping into my Facebook feed, which goes down into a little bag that big. So I'm going to look into them just to see what they'd be like. Again, they're supposed to be really absorbent and even smaller to carry around. So that's my second one. And then my third thing, really controversial, my pillow. I take my pillow on holiday. the way I look at it is, if I'm in a place for a week and I'm not sleeping because the pillows are too hard, too soft, give me a bad neck, whatever, I need my pillow. So why would I not take it? I got into quite a heated debate in a Facebook forum a while ago over people who take these small cases and don't pay for hold luggage as opposed to paying for a case. And I made the comment that I wouldn't get my pillow in one of those little cases. And they were all like horrified that I take a pillow on holiday. Yes, I know I'm going to sleep because I've got my pillow with me. So of course I do. Anyway, it adds to the padding in my case. That's just me trying to justify taking my pillow on holiday, isn't it? Anyway, that's my go-tos. What else do you take on holiday that you wouldn't be without? Just let me know in the comments. It'd be great to hear. Please subscribe, hit the notification button, and you'll get to see what else we're getting up to. A thumbs up will be good, and yeah, please comment. It'd be great to hear from you. So just before I go, I did promise I'm in my apartment. I've done a review of this apartment. It is stunning, absolutely stunning. So I'm going to put that out once I get home and sort it out. But in the meantime, I'm just going to give you a little teaser of where I am. So I'm going to spin the camera around. You can see what I've been catching my eye while I was talking. There's a ship just come in there. And this is my terrace. And also, look at this. This is the rest of my terrace with a hot tub. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.